We don't just fight insurance companies, we train for it. If you want results, get a lawyer that puts in the work. 107. Do you trust a lawyer that doesn't train? 102. Or a lawyer that quits when it gets tough. Pacific West Injury Law. We're built to win.
Take one.
Yeah. Go. Well, no, it's just take two.
No,
Is this take two? Because we messed it up last time?
Yeah, this is...
All right, so we wanted to do something a little different because, you know, we always do these with the jaywalking or training stuff or whatever. So Dave, Matt, and Dr. Zach all the way from...
the famous
UK.
Dr. Zach.
You made me famous.
Oh. Dude, it's kind of funny because you ordered a ton of stuff from my website back in, like, early 2000s, mid 2000s,
Yep.
Came over to Olympia. You came
the first year unfortunately it was 2008 I came over.
I lost the Olympia.
Yeah.
You know, that was his first Olympia to come see me.
Do you know,
in 08, yeah.
I look back at my old emails, Jay. Do you know how it all started? I remember I was competing my first IFBB Mr. Cyprus contest, and you were doing your first Olympia that year. And I just messaged you randomly, and then you said, "Oh, good luck with your show." And I said, "Good luck with your Olympia." And afterwards, I hit you back and I said, "Oh, by the way, Jay, I won my Olympia, my show," and it was 06, I think, the first year you won yours.
Yeah,
He goes,
yeah.
"Oh, so did I." Then the following year, I did the same thing. I won, and then Jay won, and we've got this thing going now. Third time I went, it was in 08. I came second.
Oh, shit.
And you came second that year, and I remember you said to me, "Bro, we've got to stop this pattern. It's not
So
good."
it's your fault.
And funny enough, we both came back the following year. I went back and defended my title and won it, and then you won it back. And that's how I think the friendship sort of kicked off from there. We had the BlackBerry BBM messages back then, remember? That was going back a few years.
I had my BlackBerry until the very end.
Listen, I still, to this day, I wish we could use a BlackBerry.
I loved it. Yeah.
I would get one. I don't.
They still make phones, Motorola.
Yeah.
I need one.
Yeah, you told me, "Oh, you got to get this, you got to get this," and then the wheel on the side.
Yeah. So, you know, you came out to the JayCutler Desert Classic, which was, by the way, the last
2011.
but this is the last one this year. We just did.
Well, it looks like
your
it.
12th year.
Yes, 12 years, minus 2 or 3 from COVID, which I couldn't come, which the 2 of them I almost got ready. Remember, I was messaging you, "I'm ready, Jay,"
Yeah,
but it doesn't
yeah.
look, I can fly out. And I remember you done a video with Dave, and you said, "Oh, we feel sorry for poor Zach in the UK. He's done all the prep and he can't fly over to compete now." But it was, you know, it was a tough few years. They closed the gym down, as you know. So
What did you do with the gym?
I was going in every day training and doing my thing and feeding the parrot, Arnold, you know.
But you weren't allowed to have people
I wasn't
in?
allowed. I had police outside the gym every day from 8 a.m. till 10 p.m.
So talk a little bit about your gym. So you have a big gym, and where is it located?
It's in North London. It's called Pumping Iron Gym. You've
like
been
a
there a couple of
JayCutler.
It's got more pictures of you than you have in your office. Even
This
on that-
wall behind me. I mean, this is what the
I
gym
don't know if
looks
that's
like.
cool or if that's creepy.
Yeah.
Do you
The
know
store
what?
was like that in Venice too. Yeah.
Just day before I flew over to Vegas, some young kids came in, said to me, "Excuse me, sir, is that Hammer JayCutler's car?" I said, "No, it's my car, but Jay's been
He
in that
drives
car."
an H3 Hummer. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Which I think is-
Yeah. Because he got it after I was winning.
Yeah.
How long you had that now?
I had it for 15 years now, Jay.
They have them
Yeah.
hybrid now in electric. Even.
Yeah, it hasn't
There's
got
a
the same
small
look
one though.
though.
It's the one Dexter one after me.
That's another similarity. You keep a car for 15 years,
Yeah.
he keeps it for 15 months.
Yeah, that's it.
Max.
But yeah, I mean, there's pictures of you, as you've seen, on the outside of the walls as well of the gym. And just people come in, they sit there and they take pictures of the walls and, you know, "Wow, Jay's been here," and I play the videos on the screens and they love it there.
Yeah, but
walking.
Jaywalking is on there as well. And obviously we've got your products there, the Cutler nutrition
Yeah.
stuff. I think we're probably the only gym that has it in the UK because not many people have it. So everyone comes in just for that. And they're selling really well. I'm very happy with them.
and you have a good juice bar in there, and
Yeah, we've got a...
So this has been like your passion forever. I mean, right?
Yeah, do you know what, Jay? I found a picture when I was 13 years old, when I used to live with my parents. They had a garage at the back of the house, and I put some equipment in there, and I put a sign outside. It said Zach's Gym from back in the day. And my mum found the picture, and she showed it to me. Because look, from the age of 13, you had this passion to open a gym. But obviously, as things went by, I went to uni. I studied, I got a degree, then carried on, got a PhD in endocrinology, and I was working as a research scientist for 10, 12 years. But in the back of my mind, I always knew I want to do something with bodybuilding, with fitness. And the way it happened, it was a long story, and they closed down the company I was working for, and just gave me a reason to get out and do what I'm doing now.
Owning a gym.
And I mean, there's a lot more that went on, because I was working on a cancer project at the time, and I had
talk a little bit what you can.
Basically, I had a team of about 7-8 scientists working for me. We're developing a new drug for cancer. We did some animal studies, and it was shrinking tumors by 70-80%. So we thought we have something good here. They flew me to Germany. They brought me over to Dallas. I gave a seminar on the product. Everyone was going crazy. We're throwing money at us. Glaxo Wellcome, SmithKline Beecham, they were throwing money at the project. And one day I went into work, and they, my professor called me in his office and he said to me, as of next week, we're going to shelf the cancer project, and you're going to work on obesity. And I lost my shit. I said, whoa. I said, we've been working on this for 3 years. We're so close. We're going towards human trials, and you're going to stop this now. Why? Because that's the way it goes, Zach, and there's nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, that means they were about to find the cure, and they shelved you.
That was on a Friday. I went to work on Monday. My whole office was cleared out. All my filing systems were gone, filing cabinets, my laptops. In the lab, any evidence on that drug was just gone. And I just stormed into my supervisor's office. I said, Prof, this is not right. I said, what's going on? Because I told you that's what's going to happen. I said, if that's the way it's going to be, then I said, I'm going to resign. I'm going to give it up. I said, this is just, it's not right. He actually said to me, if the pharma companies don't want to bring out something, then they won't, and there's nothing you or me can do about it. He said to me, I've been a professor for 30 years, that's how it works. So I looked at him and I said, you know what? I'm going to go. I'm leaving. You can't leave. He said to me, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to open a gym and help people get healthy and fit through exercise, nutrition. And that's what I'm going to do. And he looked at me, and I really got on with him. He was a lovely guy. He was almost in tears as I was leaving. But I resigned, and then 4 or 5 members of my team resigned at the same time as well. Wow. And that just put me off. I mean, I loved the science. I loved the research. It was challenging. It was good. But this whole thing, because at the time my uncle was dying of cancer. And I thought, we might be onto something here, but I can't even help him. And he actually said to me, chemo works for 5% of the people out there. It doesn't work for everyone. And as I was leaving, I'll never forget, he looked at me, he goes to me, Zach, just before you go, name me one member of the royal family that died of cancer. I looked at him, I said, all right, I'll get it. See you later. And I just left. That was it.
Do you think there's a cure for cancer?
I think so.
Definitely there is something, Matt, out there. Come on. How many millions of dollars they're giving towards cancer? I mean, they're finding cures for everything else.
Fit Club started right here at the Strip, off Hacienda and Decatur. The energy, the grit, the place that set the standard for Vegas fitness. Then came Northwest, near Summerlin, sharing the Fit Club gym culture and vibes across Las Vegas. And the crown jewel, Henderson, a cutting-edge space designed for bodybuilders, competitors, and anyone chasing their best self. Fit Club Las Vegas, now with 3 locations.
Do you ever research Dr. Brzezinski, the guy here in the U.S.?
I've heard about him, yeah.
He used, anti-eoplastons, and he 100% reverses tumors, cancers, everything. And as soon as he came up with this cure, everyone in the government tried to throw him in jail. They took his patents.
I'm surprised he didn't disappear off the planet.
That's terrible.
It was so bad. You can watch this documentary. Yeah. They brought so many charges against him that the judge sat down with the district attorney and said, if you bring one more case against this guy, I'm going to put you in contempt. Wow. And a month later, he became the vice president of the pharmaceutical company that he was trying to come after him with.
Wow. I honestly believe there is a cure for many things out there, but
they want the money.
There's no money in the cure.
And look at
money in the comeback.
Of course. They're even saying that cannabis oil works, but it will never become a legal drug because there's no money in it. Yeah. And look at all these peptides now.
I'm sure there's a way. The way I understood it in that documentary, there wasn't a particular medication that did it, but when they pulled someone's genetic code, they could find gaps that were missing. And certain medications, it could be like a tamoxifen for a guy. If he takes it, it could plug that gap for you. And it could be a ibuprofen or other medications would plug these gaps in your genetic code that would allow your body to heal itself. And that's what this research shows.
Wow. Science is too advanced now not to find a cure for cancer. Honestly, there's so much that's happened over the years. I'm sure there is something, but...
Do you like still pay close attention?
I mean, to be honest, I remember the code of the drug I was working for because I published the work as well. It disappeared off the journals as well after I left. And the code doesn't even come up on the internet anymore. If I put the code in, there's nothing there. So whatever happened to it is just gone.
They wiped it.
Yeah.
Wow. I do wonder about the peptides.
And that's just me, a small group of 10 scientists. Imagine.
How long ago was this?
That was, I'm talking about 20, 25 years
ago.
I
was going to say
25
years
years
ago. Think about that. If that's just you and a
that's
group
just
of
me,
imagine these companies that got 500 scientists, or like the Mayo Clinic or where they got
because I remember I put in for a grant proposal for $1.2 million at the time. That was a lot of money for back then. And because of the nature of the project, within 3 days they approved it. So my professor called me in the office. He goes, Zach, we got the money. I said, well, I'm glad. I said, and then that was it.
Were you making good money?
As a scientist, no, Jay. The money was crap. But when I came over to Dallas to give a seminar, they offered me a job here for 3 years, and it would have been 4 times the money I was earning in the UK. Wow. And I was thinking of coming over, but
were you single then, or?
No, I was married at the time.
Okay.
But the wife didn't want to come over back then, so
for 4X, we're going.
Yeah.
Wow. That's a lot, man.
You like the States,
but I mean, they value more the scientists here than they do back in the UK. Yeah. For some reason, if you got a UK degree or a PhD, they value that quite a bit. So
the difference here is if you're a scientist and you do come up with a cure, you'll just
disappear.
Come to dinner.
Guys around me. Yeah,
that's terrible.
No, I mean, listen. Whatever I've learned back in the day was good. I enjoyed it, but it was time to move on, and maybe it was meant to be that way. And to be honest, I've never been happier now having my own gym and doing what I'm doing. You know, I wouldn't be here now if I wasn't for that. So it happened for a reason. Shame it didn't work out. But
have you thought about doing more work with the peptide stuff just because you have a science background?
I do read a lot on the peptides, and I do help a lot of the guys at the gym that are using them. And to be honest with you, even with the Retracing, there's a lot of evidence that it actually stops cancer from growing. That's the one thing that caught my eye. Because I've done a lot of studies on rats, and they induced tumors in rats. And after giving them Retracing for a few months, the tumor was shrinking and it wasn't able to grow. So I'm sure that's going to be a similarity with a human. But again, it's early days.
I'm sure that's why Eli Lilly's doing it.
Yeah.
Eli Lilly's doing everything in their power to get the patent passed. You know,
are they legal in the US?
Not yet. It's the patent's pending with Lilly, but they're only tests for research.
I think if they become legal, there's a lot of mileage in them. Because at the end of the day, it's just a peptide.
Is there a craze in the UK like here with like right now, like in the last 4 months, peptide has exploded almost to the point where
it's taken over. I'm talking 16, 17-year-olds. Oh, my shoulder hurts. I'm going to use TB500 and EPC 157.
I mean, the anabolics almost are getting like pushed out to.
They are getting pushed out because you get a lot of influencers and a lot of bodybuilders that are talking more about peptides now than drugs and steroids.
So like the Wolverine stack, BPC, TB.
BPC 157, the Retracing for fat loss. And I mean, to be fair, because I've got a connection with a clinic that does blood work, and I follow about 4 or 5 people that have been on Retracing for the last 6 to 8 months. Not only they lost a lot of weight, but the markers have become, down to base levels. Their kidney function improved, liver function improved, cholesterol went down.
Yes, it lowers your LDL.
It has a lot of health benefits.
But no, it has a 3-phase, and it helps with your blood sugar and
everything.
That's
right. It's a GLP-1.
Isn't that what Stan said? He said it was helping.
Yeah, he's trying to reverse.
I mean, this guy, one of the guys, he lost 18 kilos and 20 centimeters around his waist. It was huge. And he was almost diabetic, and he's gone down to normal levels now, his sugar levels. He's been on it for 16 weeks, though. And, I follow his blood work, his cholesterol's improved, and his liver function has gone down to normal. Thinking, wow, that's just one peptide.
Dr. Rain loves it too.
Let me ask you a question. So you chose the bodybuilding avenue. Did it come from the chemistry, like the background?
It did help a lot, Jay, because to be honest with you, my PhD was in endocrinology, and I was studying steroid and luteinizing hormone receptors. So I was looking at steroids at the time. Part of my work was doing some animal studies with rats and rabbits, inducing them with testosterone and then looking at the side effects. So I was into that quite heavily during my studies, and obviously I was into the bodybuilding. That's why it made it more interesting for me to be involved in that field. And yeah, when I qualified, and I learned a lot. My knowledge was good, nutrition wise, supplement wise, and how the body deals with everything. It sort of opened the bodybuilding avenue for me to start competing, because I didn't compete too late. I done my first show at 29, 30, whereas most people, they're retired, around that age. I guess that's why now I'm 56.
So what's talk about your
biggest
biggest title wins?
Probably my biggest and best title was 2014 in the UK for the Nationals. I had 35 competitors in my class. It was one of the toughest shows I've ever done in a huge arena. And, I saw the lineup backstage and I thought, this can't be one class. And then we all came out with so many of us. They put us in 3 lines. Wow. And I managed to win that title. And that qualified me for the Arnold Classic in Columbus, Ohio that year. So that was probably my best ever. And
you went to Ohio?
I went to Ohio, yes.
And how'd you place?
I did the Masters over 40 at the time, and I came 3rd. So, yeah, it was a good year that year, because the 2 months before that, I flew to Cyprus and I done the Grand Prix, IFBB Grand Prix there, and I won the heavyweights and the overall. But that year they decided not to give out any pro
Who's the most famous
cards.
bodybuilder in Cyprus right now?
There's a couple of guys that are IFBB pros.
Michael...
Mike Kefal is from Greece. He's actually retired now, as you know. But he's probably the only one that stepped on the Olympia stage.
You know that guy? Michael
Kefalianos.
Capianos. You remember him? Yeah.
I actually went to his gym.
He's from Cyprus.
No, he's from Kos. He lives in Kos in Greece, a small island. And I went there about 4 years ago. And I went to his gym there, and it's got a huge picture of you and him as you walk in.
Yeah,
he goes to me, Zach, look, you're friends. I said,
You go to Cyprus, it's a tax haven.
I tell you, it's a good place to go.
So why did you go win the Mr. Cyprus contest?
Because at the time I had a lot of family living there.
Are you Greek? I mean,
my parents were both born in Cyprus.
Okay.
I was born in the UK, and my goal was always to go back there and win that show.
And you vacation there every year?
Yeah, of course. And I did it 1 year. I won it first time. Then I kept going back for 5 years. I won it every year. And then for some reason, they didn't want me to go anymore. And it was 2010. They messaged me and I said, don't worry.
What'd they say?
I said, do you know what? Everyone's complaining you coming over from the UK, winning the show. I said, hang on, it's a Grand Prix show. We've got Russians there, Italians there. There was Arabs there, every nationality. But they didn't want, So I said, if that's the case, I said, I'm not coming back. And I remember it was 2010 and then 2011, you invited me to do your show at the Red Rock.
Yeah, first one.
So I thought, you know what? Sod you, I'm not coming back to Cyprus. I'm going Vegas from now on.
So that's messed up though, because your family's from Cyprus.
Exactly, and I went there. I speak perfect Greek. I was, one of them. But obviously, they didn't like me because I kept winning. I mean, 1 year I took.
You should just keep going back. Screw them.
There was an IFBB pro in the UK called Trevor Crouch. He looks just like Ronnie Coleman. This guy, honestly, he's big, and they wanted a guest poser. So I spoke to him. And he said, yeah, I'll come to Cyprus with you. If they pay for my flight, I'll go there. So I took him there. He was doing a guest pose on the last year I was competing. And as soon as we got there, I went to register. They started giving me attitude. Oh, it's you again. All the other competitors were moaning about you. I said, so what's going to happen? He goes, I don't know if we're going to allow you to compete. So Trevor heard the conversation. So he went up to the IFBB president and said, listen, sir, if Zach doesn't go on stage today, there's no guest pose, I'm leaving. He goes, oh, no, you can't do that. We're going to let him compete. So that was the last time I competed there. I won. And we both.
It's just so weird. Because if somebody keeps winning, you think the other people be like, I'm going to beat him.
Do you know what, Matt?
Do you have motivation?
The funny thing was, like they said to me, oh, if you come back next year and win again, we give you your pro card. To be honest, at the time, I wasn't chasing a pro card because I was past 30. I thought, what am I going to do from now on with a pro card? I was being realistic, I knew my limitations. So I thought, okay, it'd be nice to get it, but So I went the following year, I won it again. He goes, oh, next year. And then one year I just rang the guy up, the IFBB president. I said, listen, what's going on with this pro card? Oh, do you know we have to pay $300 to get you the pro card?
Okay.
I said, and if that's the problem, I'll give you the money. I said, no, but the thing is that if you get your pro card, you won't be able to come back, and people come over to see you. We get crowds coming in to watch you on stage. They love you here. So I said, you know what? I said, this is just a
So wait a minute. First, they didn't want you to compete because you keep winning,
and then,
now they don't want you to leave because people pay to see you.
It was fucked up, man. Well, Jay came to the rescue with his show in 2011, and I thought, never look back.
Next year, he can do the one in Boston.
Yeah. That's the big difference. Didn't you get like the lifetime achievement award or something like that?
I did, yeah. I think after the 7-8 year, I got the shield up in the gym.
Yeah, Remy said something about you needed to have some
Iron Man award. Yeah,
that was nice.
That was a lovely touch. Yeah, that was great. It was good. But
probably won that year too.
But it was, that's just the way it goes with bodybuilding. You know how corrupt the sport can be. But with me, there was no money involved. There was no money involved. There was nothing there. They were just
egos.
Egos. Yeah.
What NABA's big in the UK though, right?
NABA is big in the UK. Back in the day, I did the NABA Universe as well. I won the NABA
Lee Priest won that.
Yeah, Lee Priest won it, and it's getting bigger. But now the sort of MPC has taken over because that's the only route to the IFBB Pro card. But even that now, they sort of it's becoming a little bit of a joke because they're charging athletes so much money to compete in their shows, and they're giving away so many pro cards. He actually lost his value. It wasn't like the old days. One person a year would get a pro card.
The same thing here. I mean, it's
when I first got involved, if someone had a pro card, that was like a guaranteed
like,
career contracts, and now it's like you get a pro card. The last show I went to watch,
300
of them out.
They gave 21 pro cards in one show. First, second, and third place in every class was getting a pro card. They were giving out like bloody. And obviously, being a pro, you have to pay the fee every year. So I can see the business side of the.
Are you following the sport as close as you once did, or are you kind of not as?
No, I do follow. Yeah, of course. I watch all the shows, and you know,
run the videos in the gym and everything.
Every year we play the new Mr. Olympia videos. And
what's your demographic of people at the gym right now? What kind of people are there? Is it families? Is it
with
bodybuilding?
my kind of gym, Jay, as you know, because we're more old school gym, is mainly bodybuilders. There's a few women competitors, but it's mainly guys that bodybuilders. Obviously, the men's physique guys, you can't stop them; they're everywhere because they don't want to train legs. So
you're going to get hated on for that.
I know, but that's what I see from my gym anyway. But yeah, it's mainly serious bodybuilders and. You get the odd families.
What time are you at the gym every day?
I go there at 7 and I finish at 10 p.m.
Every day?
6 days a week, Sundays off.
Wow.
I don't want to hear you complain about your schedule.
Full-time bodybuilder.
So that's beyond full-time. That's too full-time.
Yeah. So you open at what time?
7.
Okay. It's kind of late for a gym opening, right? I mean,
yeah.
It is, but I can't find anyone else to go in and open before me.
Listen.
Why don't I sleep there?
7 to 10, why don't you just go at 5?
Do you have staff or?
Yeah, I got 5 people working there.
Okay.
My brother works there.
Why don't you go home at like 5 p.m.?
They just do the normal hours, 9 to 5.
What do you make the shakes too and everything?
No, I don't do that. Okay. I've got boys behind the bar that do all the shakes.
I've never been to your gym.
You need to go check
it out. You need to come over, yeah. It used to be an old.
I think the last time we went there, I think it was like really far drive, so we couldn't get.
Well, the traffic is just brutal. I mean, it's kind of in the middle of everything, We did a tour, so when he drove me the second half of the tour,
was it 2018? Yeah.
Yeah, and it was just like I mean, it takes longer to get places than actually set up and do the seminars and whatnot.
Obviously, the roads are not like here. You get 2 lanes if you're lucky, and that's it. Yeah. But yeah, it's my gym used to be like an old social club back in the day, and had a bar there where they used to serve alcohol. So I kept it as it was. And we just serve protein shakes and food there now. So it's got a nice little atmosphere to it.
It's got a little hang on.
I mean, Flex loved it when he came down. Flex Lewis goes, "Oh wow!" The only thing he didn't like, there was only a couple of pictures of him on the wall, and he actually phoned Jay in front of me and said, "Jay, do you give me permission to take one of your pictures down?"
I hear him say that.
Right, take 2. Hey guys, if you have not heard, I've launched my own TRT clinic. TRT Kingdom is now live. And if you'd like to schedule on consult or get more information, make sure you guys go over, check it out, and let us see how we can help with your health needs.
Click the link below.
Shit.
Say click the link below.
Okay. Click the link below.
You need to insert a couple of pictures on this thing,
Okay.
like of his gym. You know, he can send you.
Yeah, yeah, send me a
send
few
me-
of
send
them.
I mean, it's a huge thing outside. It's like me doing
Yeah.
what was it? What am I posing on the thing or something?
Yeah, it's your famous quad stump.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah,
Send me pictures.
I will do.
outside the gym, so people drive by, they see it.
They're
you know?
shrines to your gym, and you don't even have your own gym.
And it's got like a Cutler Nutrition store.
Why'd you call it Pumping Iron Gym?
Well, Pumping Iron was obviously the first movie I watched that got me into bodybuilding back in the day, and I had done some research, and there was no other gyms called Pumping Iron at the time. I didn't know you back then.
And
so
who inspired you?
to open the gym.
No, who inspired you? Like what?
Oh, back in the day.
Yeah.
Obviously, when I watched Arnold, he was the main man, and but I liked that the old school physiques, like Flex Wheeler and those kind of
Who's
bodies.
your favorite bodybuilder ever?
Without excluding you.
Yeah, excluding me. Yeah.
Do you know what? I admire what Ronnie done. To me,
Ronnie
everyone that went on the Olympia stage is a legend. I mean, Dorian, I know him on a personal level. He was a brilliant guy who never had the best genetics, but pushed it to the limit and done what he done. I spoke to him a few weeks ago, actually, before I came over, and we still keep in touch. He's a lovely guy. But yeah, I like quite a few. I don't have like one specific bodybuilder, but because obviously with you, we got the friendship going over the years, and I followed your career. It's more of a personal thing.
What do you think about? You went to Arnold thanks to
Oh,
Matt
yeah.
and Brian Powers. They took care of you.
Arnold
there.
was amazing. I got to say, Matt, thank you so much for the seats. And I took my two boys there, Nick and Johnny, and we sat.
And Johnny, big shout out to Johnny, man, looking all jacked up. He just showed me a picture in the back. Now he wants to be on the competition.
He wants to start competing. I remember we were driving back from the
Now he
Arnold
wants to
Classic.
beat up the Arnold
We
either.
were driving back from the Arnold Classic. He goes, Dad. I said, what? He goes, I want to compete next year. I said, Johnny, you're only 16, man. Give it time. He goes, no. I mean, even now, he rang me. He was going to the gym. He trains like 4 times a week. He plays soccer. He does very active. But for his age, I mean, he took it seriously the last 5-6 months, and his physique has completely transformed. Even when he used to play soccer, the difference, his coach said to me, does he sleep in your gym or something? I said, why? He goes, well, when he barges the kids, they go flying now with his shoulders, and it's getting so strong on the pitch. So, yeah, he loves it. He wants to compete, and he's fallen in love with it. Obviously, he saw Arnold right there next to him. He saw Lee Haney. We had Phil Heath. Everyone at the Arnold Classic was right next to him, and he was in awe of everything. And,
So now you're going to be Coach Zach.
it looks like I'm going to hang up my posing trunks and pass them on to him.
You've been saying that for a lot of years. You told me you retired. What year was supposed to be the last?
I think it was
time
when
you
I
were
turned
competing?
50, exactly
Yeah.
6 years ago on
Have
the
you
day.
done the Jay Cutler Boston show, though?
I haven't. No.
That's a
well,
great
I
show,
think you
too.
need to.
Is that carrying on? Yeah.
So he's not retired
yeah.
yet.
So when is that, Jay?
May
Let's
2nd.
let's
Yeah, May
talk
2nd,
business.
yeah.
now.
It's
When
May
is that?
2nd. Listen,
End of April.
Oh,
you're dieting.
Yeah.
April, May. So it's after my birthday. Yeah, that could be done. That could be done.
Last minute entry.
Are you? Was today your birthday or?
It's today, yeah.
Oh, happy birthday.
Thank you.
So you're 56 today, or
56, man, and I can honestly say this is probably my best present to be here today with you guys, sitting on the famous chair.
Awesome.
It's, I rang my wife and says, guess what? I'm going to be on the Cutler podcast today on my birthday. She goes, yeah.
We'll actually record it.
Yeah, we're not
We
going
won't
to
mention that.
You want to tell them why we're doing this for a second time?
Yeah, because I think last time was just Jay, myself, and Zach, and I used a good camera because like that's a good interview. Wanted to make sure that it's gonna be good. The good camera never actually worked.
Was that
we talked-
a new camera? Or?
It was a newer camera, but for some reason it just didn't record. So we spoke for like probably a good solid hour and a half.
Yeah.
For nothing.
Because we went back to the days when we used to compete together. Remember at the...
Yeah,
I was
so
disappointed.
Who beat who more?
Zach beat me. Yeah.
Really?
I remember you used to shit stir quite a lot,
Yeah, I
Jay. I
did,
remember
yeah.
because he used to go and
Yeah.
he used to do his jaywalking and he'd say, "Oh, Dave, by the way, Zach's coming over and he said he's going to beat you this year." Oh man, I didn't say nothing.
You are a total bully. Jay's like a silent
I gotta
bully.
keep him motivated.
He loves to start crap.
I know, but like he's the full timer, dude. Like
He was the man to beat at the
Jay
time.
is seriously a silent bully. He stirs shit up and he goes, "What's going on?
love it.
Why are you guys fighting?"
But yeah, I remember that's when we became close with Dave because we'd done about 2 or 3 shows together.
Yeah.
Obviously, you were doing other stuff at the time as well, other US shows, and I was competing in the UK. But once a year, we used to meet here, and it was a nice. It wasn't like Ronnie and Jay show, but it was a Zach and Dave show.
We had nothing but love. Yeah.
It was always good. We had good old days. But yeah, I remember you were right in the middle, Jay. You were always. Hey,
well,
Zach.
I mean, Dave started the year. He came back and started competing the year I lost.
I remember because it's on your
told me until I'm retired.
All Access DVD. Yeah, All Access DVD. Yeah.
Remember that?
Yeah.
You said that until I'm done, you can't compete anymore.
When's the last time you competed? It wasn't that long ago, was it?
16? 2016.
I remember you did a show in California.
Well, he
right?
went to Boston and competed.
Yeah, that was great. That was
He
right
did
after
better
the
in Boston than he
That
did
was
on-
right after the Cutler Classic too. Yeah,
Oh, look at this.
2 weeks
See,
later.
he's done the Boston show and you haven't.
I haven't. He's got one up on me. Yeah.
Remember,
You can't let that happen.
I can't let that go now.
Yeah, per had
They
said-
went out to my mom's house.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they just showed up, and my mom's like, "Oh, there were these men outside the
These big
house."
bodybuilders.
Yeah,
You told me to go. You told me on the phone to
and
go.
my stepfather's like, "Who are these big dudes out
Didn't
there?"
your mum know Dave at the time, or?
Yeah, well, of course, she met him
Yeah.
at all
Oh,
the
yeah.
Olympias. You know, remember she came to every
Yeah,
single
of
one.
course, yeah.
You met her before.
Yeah, I met your mum as well. Yeah.
I got to see the
85,
farm and everything. It was
Yeah.
great.
She still lives in the same house.
Yeah, same house. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. They
So
live
what's
right
happened
there.
to the farm now? Is it still there?
My brother runs it now. He has the cattle there, and he has a couple pigs. He has some chickens. You know, kind of like just small little farm
Yeah.
thing. You know, out in Sterling.
Do you miss those days?
Not so much. Did I stay with you at that golf course resort? Were
Yes,
we
in
together
Watford.
then?
Yes,
That was amazing.
when you came to London. Yeah.
What's it called?
It was the Grove.
Yeah, that was
The
really
Grove. That was
nice.
one of the best hotels.
That was the best
actually.
hotel I stayed at of all the
Yeah,
places.
that was
So
a
when
nice
he toured
place.
me,
Wow.
like we did the second half with him, and he took me, like I stayed on this really nice.
It was new at the time, and
Yeah, one thing's really different. Like the UK, everything's green, right? So it's a lot different from here because it
Yeah.
rains a lot.
Rains a lot.
Did it rain quite a bit?
doesn't stop, especially the winter months. It doesn't stop.
Do you have like winter blues by this point?
Do you know what the worst thing is, Jay? I mean, November, December, January, Feb. You wake up, it's dark. By 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, it's dark. You don't see no daylight, and it's quite depressing.
Yeah.
Grey skies, and it's raining, and I mean, it's so nice to go out here and see a bit of sunshine.
So I know because I was telling Matt, I was talking to him about like you were laying at the pool the whole time.
Oh yeah. Today was
but-
cool. Yeah, lovely. Man.
Rough life.
He sends me when he goes to Cyprus in the summer. He'll send me pictures, and he's like he's pro-tanned. That's how dark
It was
he
some
gets.
pro tan, yeah, go really dark. Yeah,
The people always say,
yeah, but
like,
it's in the. Don't forget the temperature there. It goes up to 40 degrees.
how much is that?
So 100?
110.
So why don't you move to Cyprus?
One day,
What's the
Probably-
tax haven there? How does it work?
It's a tax haven, just like UAE.
Yeah.
It's a little different. You know, I don't know a lot about it, but I know it's separate, isn't it? One side's
the
like-
island is divided since 1974 when
Okay,
the
explain that a
Turks
little.
invaded Cyprus. They took the northern part of
one
the
side's
island.
Greek and the other side's Turk.
Turkish, that's right. So it's a little bit. There's always. I mean, even though it's been going on since 1974, you always feel a little bit unstable there. You don't know what's going to happen. I mean, nothing will probably happen now because a lot of other countries are involved. But yeah, it was like my dad's place where he was born is now taken over by the Turks, so he's not allowed to go there. You can visit there for the day. You have to show your passport to cross over the green line because you've got the UN separating the two barriers.
Is it one side is one side nicer than the other, or are they similar?
The Cypriot side, and I'm not being biased, is a lot more developed now. They call it the mini Dubai now. They're building the highest skyscraper now in Europe. Apparently, they're pumped in so much money. There's a lot of Russians there. There's a lot of Israelis going there now, pumping money in there. So it's not the Cyprus that I grew up in when I was 10 years old. You won't recognize it now. It's completely different. The house prices are almost the same as the UK now. Everything has gone up so much. Rents, housing, the food. So yeah, in one way, it's developing too quick. But in another way, it's becoming too expensive to live there for the
It
locals.
used to be like inexpensive.
It used to be so cheap there. You could rent a house really cheap. Now the prices are the same as London.
They have similar like UAE with like if you open a corporation there, like the taxes
And the other thing they were doing recently, there were a lot of Chinese were going to Cyprus because you could, if you deposit 100,000 Cypriot pounds into the bank, you would get a Cyprus ID card, which allows you, it's a EU card. So they were coming over, getting their EU citizenship.
So you go over, you go.
Yeah, everyone was coming over with a bit of money, buying a house.
Is it still like that?
Still the same, yeah.
Let's go get ID.
Yeah. So yeah, it's changing a lot. So yeah, it's a nice place to go one day to retire, but to live there now, I don't know, it's a bit.
Can I ask you? So you were bodybuilding for many years. What do you feel now? Like, what's the biggest shift being just turning 56 versus 36? Like, as far as the nutritional training aspect.
The only thing I found a little bit difficult, Jay, I'm not going to lie to you, is getting in that sharp condition. Because I always had this thing in my head. I always wanted to be super shredded on stage, and my condition was everything. I was never the biggest guy, but I was always one of the most conditioned guys. And obviously, back in the day, I used to do half an hour cardio a day, and I could get away with it. 8 weeks, I would get ready for a show. Give you an idea for this show, I was doing 25,000 steps a day, 2 hours cardio a day, an hour training, and super, super clean diet to get to where I got for this show. And that was about 14 weeks worth. Wow. So every night be, your favorite white fish and salad before bed.
So like an hour in the morning, hour in the evening?
I would do an hour in the morning, then I would train around midday, one body part, and then I would do an hour stepper afterwards. I would do 1 hour treadmill, 1 hour stepper at the end after training. So it was a lot of cardio. It was I'm not going to lie, it was very tiring, very taxing, especially spending all those hours at the gym working. But one thing with me, my food is good. When I died. I never cheat. I never had cheat meals. And, usually I used to introduce the white fish 6 weeks out. I had it from day one, from 12 weeks out. I put the white fish in the evening as the last meal. And that I found made my skin sort of paper thin towards the end and helped. But yeah, that's the hardest thing. Obviously, maintaining muscle as you get older, as you know, is not how
What
it
was the
used to be.
training like, though, compared to? Can
Training
you
was
back
good.
down on the volume, or?
It was more volume. I sort of followed your principles rather than Ronnie's heavy. It was more volume, more sets. And obviously I had to struggle with a few. I had a shoulder injury and a little bit of a knee problem, which I had to work around. But yeah, your training adapts according to your age, I think, as you get older. My main thing was to get the pump, and, whether it means doing more sets, more volume, then...
Is your body healthy, or is it beat up?
No, do you know what? Touch wood, I go for my blood work every 6 months. One thing I do regularly, every 6 months I do my blood test. I do my heart scan every year. So my body's healthy, and considering I've been bodybuilding, competing, I've been competing for 27 years now. So the only injury I had years and years ago, I dislocated my left shoulder, and that was it. I might get the odd pain here and there, but nothing that would stop me from training. I just work around it. And I get a lot more, I followed your theory. I get a lot more massage work. There's a guy at the gym who's a massage therapist, and I see him every week.
Every week, yeah.
Every week, and he, used to treat my shoulder, especially now leading up to this show. We're doing like a shoulder treatment every 10 days just to keep me going. But yeah, it's tougher as you get older. Obviously, you're not going to be as big and as full as you were back in the day, but you can still maintain a decent physique. And with me now is more the health aspects of being, I don't want to walk around looking like a giant, but I want to look good, athletic, fit and healthy. That's my goal.
You wish you could stay in Vegas longer?
I do actually.
Would
yeah.
you miss, are you scared the gym isn't running properly?
No, I mean, my brother's in charge now that I'm away, so I speak to him regularly. Everything is fine.
How is he in charge? He doesn't have another job?
No, he works with me. He used to work in a bank for 30 years, and then they all got made redundant. And he said to me, "Do you mind if I work at the gym?" And my brother's not the gym person. It's completely the opposite. He was a head of the IT department in the bank, proper office person. I said, bro, you're not going to like the gym atmosphere. It's not the same people that you deal with at the bank. Trust me.
And does he love it now?
He loves it, bro. He loves
Maybe
it.
he didn't love the people he was with, but he just tolerated it before.
I'm not being funny. When he was at the bank, he had high blood pressure. His health wasn't great. Since he came to the gym, stress was killing him there. Since he came to the gym, he got into his cardio, does a little bit of weights. he's so much more healthy and he looks more alive now. And he said to me, I would never leave. This is what I missed all those years at the bank, getting stressed, being shouted by the managers above and, you know, all that crap. And so, yeah, well, I'm lucky I've got him there now running the show when I'm away. But yeah, a few more extra days in Vegas would have been nice. But obviously you miss the family. And, you know, leading up to the show, you're doing your own thing. You don't spend as much time with your family as you should do. We all know.
You have no time. You have 1
Yeah.
year.
But, yeah, I mean, I've been talking to my boys every day on the phone and, oh, Dad, can't wait to see you back. And, you know, I go back on a Wednesday and on Thursday, my youngest Johnny's got a game at Spurs football ground. It's quite a big game. It's like an academy game, so I have to take him there. It's like non-stop.
Yeah, so when he came to Arnold that night, they had a soccer game
Yeah.
the next day, and it
Next
took him
day.
like how much, 3 hours to get home, or
We got home at 2:30 in the morning.
Wow.
We had to be at the football game at 9 o'clock. So I said to Johnny, how are you going to wake up? I said, he goes, wake me up. I'll be all right, Dad. I woke him up. He looked half asleep. We go to the game and he scores a fucking goal. I said, wow.
Say, as soon as the game starts, the sleeps, you're good.
I said, where did that come from? He goes, Dad, I was still buzzing from the Arnolds last night. He goes to me, but I still want to become a bodybuilder. But yeah, no, it's full on over there. I'm not going to lie to you. The days are full on. But I enjoy the atmosphere of being in the gym, helping other people. I mean, I got people that joined my gym about 10 years ago with no idea of competing or nothing. And now they're going winning shows and, you know, they all say, oh, you inspired us to get into this. And it's a nice feeling to see that.
would you coach?
Jay, I've tried a few times, but it frustrates me because no one wants to. They pretend they listen to you and then they go off and they do their own shit and they don't follow their diet. And I get really, because I'm so passionate about what I'm doing, it would piss me off. So I give advice to all my members. I don't charge them. I give them diet plans and whatever. But I don't coach specifically for competition and stuff because I've done it before in the past and people were not being honest with you about what they're eating. It's a headache. It's a responsibility. And it only takes 1 or 2 people to give you a bad name.
You're an underpaid babysitter.
Exactly. And, you know, they go and they lose the show and who do they blame? The coach.
Of course.
Obviously,
you
you know,
didn't follow anything
I
you said.
remember a few weeks ago, one of the lads there, he said to me, Zach, you're in great shape, man. Can you give me a copy of your diet? So I gave him a copy of my diet. He goes to me, okay, that's for tomorrow. What about the day after? I said, bro, this is not a menu. This is your diet for the next 3 months. I can't eat the same shit every day. Well, this sport is not for you then. Yeah. He thought every day I would give him a different menu to follow. You know, I had a steak there was beef, there was eggs, there was chicken, there was fish. It was a variety of me. It wasn't, you know.
I text Matt every day. I said, what are you eating? Like, what do you, I just want to know. Cause like, you know, he's not a super regimen, even though he's better than he has been. So I always say, what do you eat today? You know, just because I'm
I
curious.
just can't
to know.
eat like I used to.
It gets exciting for me when I
lost a
hear
lot
what
of
other
weight,
people
man.
eating.
When I saw
I
you,
just can't.
How much? He's lost 40
lost a
40
hell of a lot of
pounds.
weight.
I was
That's awesome.
285 before. I'm like 245.
That's awesome.
But I'm just not, you know, when I was younger, I was always hungry. I could eat
really.
16-ounce steak, 2 potatoes, an hour and a half later, I'd be shaking because I'd be so hungry. Yeah. And now it's like I eat something and I'm like, oh shit, that meal's too big. I have to eat that much food.
Yeah.
It's just not enjoyable anymore. I just don't
But
like
then
it.
you feel better for it now.
No, I feel better. Yeah, I do. And I still want to come down a little bit more. There's no need for me to be so heavy anymore. When I go to the gym, I don't have the, you know, I just loved having the
So
strength.
how did you do it? With cardio or was
Just
it
cardio,
just change of lifestyle?
change of diet. I wake up every morning and walk 20 minutes on it.
Yeah, he actually walks outside, which is
See, I always swear by the early morning cardio. That's what I do every day.
I just walk around my neighborhood before
Yeah.
the sun comes up. I walk. My neighborhood's exactly a half a mile around. So I'll walk like 3 times.
Brilliant.
And then I just cut all my food in like half of what I used to eat.
And that just satisfies you. You're happy with that,
not
yeah?
eating out as much too.
Yeah, no, I just stopped
You
eating.
hear that early morning cardio? You don't.
I know.
Never worked for it. We just talked about this on jaywalking. Like
Yeah,
when was
just-
yesterday or today?
Yesterday, I think.
No, today we talked about it when we did jaywalking. Did we shoot
Was that
jaywalking
today?
this morning?
Yes,
Yeah.
that was today.
Yeah, so we talked about like he fasted cardio. Just he was waking up starving, and we
Yeah.
just talked about like he has no appetite, obviously, because you know
Yeah.
he's-
Yeah.
he has his issue right now. But what like you could never do it though, right?
No,
Did I
I
put you
just-
on fasted cardio in the morning? When
Well, you said, you know, that's the best time to do it, but
Yeah.
if not, do it after training.
So when
which
you
is
used
what
to
I would do.
compete, were you doing fasted cardio?
I
back
did
in
it
the
after
day?
training.
I would
Oh,
do it
really?
after training.
Always, yeah.
Always. Which is the second best time to do it.
How about you, Jay? Was it?
I did both. I did like you did.
Yeah.
I was training twice a day, and so 4 times a day I was trying to hit the metabolism. And it was only a metabolism thing. Like that's the way I view cardio. It's not like, okay, how many, like people looking, oh, he burned 500 calories,
I know.
or
That means
you're
nothing.
measuring steps, which 20 years ago we didn't.
No,
steps,
of course. It
like
meant
how do you
nothing.
measure steps, right?
Yeah.
There's no digital response to what we do. So I think more it was just like, I think about the metabolism and, okay, exercise, like burning calories, like keeping the body like hot,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. And I think that's the benefit of cardio. That's why I think, is swimming better? Is biking better? Is step mill? Like you just said, I do the step or a treadmill. I believe that the stair mill did help my glutes and
Of
hamstrings
course, it does.
in 09, like when I did come back, because I was just more squeezing, but who knows? I dieted harder and took better anti-estrogens.
That's what I found with the step. I find it hits more the glutes and the hamstrings, especially when you squeeze. That's why I do a mixture of both. But I to be honest, the reason I upped my cardio this year so much is because I wanted to put more food in there. Because I thought if
Did you eat more food?
Yeah, I was eating a lot more food. Yeah, I thought if I don't increase my food, I'm going to lose too much size. So the cardio just sped up my metabolism a lot. So I was adding more food, more carbs, and I felt I was actually heavier this year than I was last year.
Okay.
So yeah,
Did you like the look that you brought this year?
yeah, I was happy with it, Jay. I mean, for my age, I think I looked quite decent. But the cardio, I always preach it to everyone, not just for the look, for the body fat, for the heart, for the insides as well. Because I find a lot of people that look amazing, they might do 4 or 5 reps on the squats and they get out of breath. Their lungs give up before their legs when it's not right. And, there's no stamina, no cardiovascular fitness, nothing. So I always preach cardio to everyone as part of the training.
I want to ask you something. You talked something about receptors and like anabolics.
Yeah.
So, like we always talked about like cold turkey just stopping anything after a show. Today that doesn't exist. What's your response on like your receptors?
See, everyone does this cruising thing now, even after they might be on a cycle for 3 months, and I'm talking a heavy cycle, and then I sort of, even friends that I know, I ask them, are you coming off now, let your body recover? No, bro, I'm cruising on 250 milligrams of test a week and growth and insulin. Bro, that's not cruising. I mean, the whole point, even the amount of steroids that people use, you're using 1,000, 2,000 milligrams of test a week. Your receptors can only uptake so much. If you flood them with testosterone, what happens? They downregulate, they desensitize, and they disappear off the surface of the cell. So there's no receptor there to uptake the test. So you're taking all that test, ruining your body, and you're not getting any benefits from it. So less is more, because you keep the receptors upregulated.
Do you need to reset your receptors, though, is my question. And we've had opinions on this, because I remember Dave Palumbo talked about this on the podcast.
Yeah.
And we
They
had
got
a
so
lot
much
of
pushback.
Yes. Why did we get do you remember?
They got pushback because they said there's the science doesn't show that the body doesn't uptake the receptor or something like that.
Well,
That's not
even
what
if
the
you
science
flood them
shows.
for a long time with
That's what they. But I
I
don't
mean,
know enough about it.
is this an opinion? I mean, I just don't. I'm asking you maybe research, because you've
I've
done this stuff.
Yeah, I'm going back
Maybe
to
not human.
I'm going back to my years as a scientist now. I remember when I had rats and rabbits, and I used to give them testosterone and check what was going on and measuring the testosterone in the blood. And when you reach a saturation point and you give more, you don't necessarily get more testosterone in your body. So there is evidence to show that the receptor is downregulated, desensitized, and it takes time for it to resurface and get back on the surface again. And that was from the studies. I even published my work back in the day in my PhD thesis, which is like a 450-page thick book. It talks about that all in there. And obviously the receptor, imagine something that's sitting like this on the top of the cell. Testosterone comes, it grabs it, and it moves it inside the cell. When you put too much testosterone there, the receptor doesn't work anymore. So it sort of breaks down and just disintegrates. And it's called desensitization. It downregulates. It needs time to come back to the surface again to be functional. So that's the time you need to come off. A clever bodybuilder would do his cycle, come off, use your Clomid, your HCG, provide one, whatever you want to use to speed things up. I mean, your body would always come back to normal, but it might take longer. So we use all these things are available to make you come back quicker. So I remember once Dorian said to me, the best results I got when I stayed off the gear for a whole year, and then I went back on it, and it was like the first time I've ever touched gear again. My body just responded so well to it. Why? Because his body was fresh. He was hungry for it. Yeah. But nowadays,
so the body, if you are taking X amount, if you drop it down lower, it's still not going to replenish because it's still there.
It's still there.
You
yeah.
need it to just.
That's why I don't understand this cruising thing. It's more.
I don't think anybody understands.
Is it a mental thing, Zach?
I think it's
in your
more.
opinion?
I'm not being funny, Jay. I love bodybuilding. I love bodybuilders, but some of it becomes an addiction.
I was just going to say that.
And they
They're
feel
addicted
like
to drugs.
if I don't take, I mean, I speak to guys that compete, and I see them after the show. He goes, "Oh, bro, I haven't touched gear for a week now. I feel I'm shrinking. I need to go back on." I said, "Bro, it's still in your system.
Yeah.
The stuff you took is still in your
How
body."
long can it stay in the system for, Zach?
I mean, it depends. The long-acting esters can stay functioning in your system for about 3-4 weeks after the injection, after one injection. I mean, for TRT now, they're using Nebido. I don't know if you're familiar with it, which is 1,000 milligrams of testosterone under canoate. And they do one injection every 12 to 16 weeks.
Yeah, I saw that. It came out of
breaks down.
Cyprus. Somebody told me that. Yes.
Yeah, and it's 1,000 milligrams.
So it breaks down slowly?
It's a very, very slow release.
It releases.
But if somebody doesn't want to inject every week a TRT dose, you get one of those from your general practitioner, and it will last you 12 weeks, 14 weeks.
Do you know anyone that uses that?
I know quite a few people that do it in the UK under TRT clinics, and there's evidence from the blood work that even after 10 weeks, you still have testosterone in your body. Yep. So you don't have to jab every week if you like. But for bodybuilders, again, being bodybuilders, they do the one test a week, test enanthate or cypionate or whatever, 250 milligrams, and they do one shot of that test enanthate every month, which is way over the top. But they feel like they're cruising on it. That's not cruising.
Even when I would stop, I didn't even lose a little bit of strength till about 6 weeks down the road. But I think it was a mental thing too.
Matt, the problem is with most people, from my experience, the minute they stop taking gear,
Sure.
the training goes to shit, the food goes out of the window. Obviously, you're going to lose size. So what do they blame? Oh, I'm not using any gear. It's nothing to do with the gear. I always tell them the period you have off the gear, up your food and up your training intensity, and you won't see no difference to your strength or your size. You might lose a few pounds of water retention, but you're not going to shrink. It's all in the head. No. And this is why I tell them, if you need a drug to do this sport, then you're not an athlete. You're a drug addict. Sorry to say, but you got a problem.
I've said this over and over again. Training, diet, sleep were the things when I got involved were the most important things. It's called a performance enhancer because it's supposed to enhance these things. It's not the foundation.
But it won't, if you don't eat the right stuff, it won't make you bigger or better if you're taking shitloads of gear. Yeah. Gear needs food to work. It allows your body to absorb more nitrogen from the protein. That's how gear works. You don't take more testosterone, you get bigger. No. Your food has to be there. If there's no food there,
doesn't matter.
It's a waste of time. And this is where people need to be more educated. And all this information is available out there. Just people don't want to read anymore. They talk to their dealer or their coach who's selling them the gear, and he's telling them, oh, you need to cruise on this much and that much. They're making more money out of you. But what are they doing to your health? I mean, I've got a lot of guys that in their 20s and 30s, and when I see their blood work, I said, bro, your cholesterol is 12. It should be less than 5. What the fuck are you taking? The liver enzymes are... should be less than 50, and they're at 250, 300. It's like renal function is going down. What's going on? And you're a young guy. What's going to happen when you get to my age? If you get to my age, unfortunately, why do we see so many bodybuilders passing away now? I think the wrong information is relayed out there instead of
the internet. That's where the internet kind of hurt it a little bit, right? Because you see these things like this is so and so's protocols. And, some of I've seen stuff out there and I know it's not true necessarily, but listen, the whole thing is people are like, well, no one ever died from taking steroids. But at the same time,
you don't die. You're not going to drop dead, but you're going to get kidney failure. You're going to get a stroke. You're going to get a heart attack. It's not like heroin. You're going to do a wrong jab and drop dead. Yeah. It kills you in different ways. There's other things that you've got to watch out for. Even with GH now, back in the day, people would do 4 IUs of GH. That was considered normal. I've got guys in my gym now that are doing 18 IUs a day. And they're saying to me, oh, but look at this Russian dude on the Instagram. He's doing 100 IUs a day. Yeah, but how long is he going to live? 100 IUs a day. I mean, I had people that had their heart scanned more than 10 IUs a day, and you get the left ventricular hypertrophy where your heart enlarges. Yeah. And, you know, at 25, 28 years old, that's not normal. What's going to happen if you do that for 10 years? Does it scare
you a little bit, or?
It is quite scary the way the sport's
seems
going
like you
now.
truly care about it. Like,
I mean, I linked up with this amazing guy who's got a blood clinic in London, and this guy's a cardiologist, and he opened a clinic. Somehow he hit me up and he said, oh, I'd like to come and talk to you about bodybuilding. I want to get more into the fitness side of the medical world. And so I've been working with him for the last 10 years now. I send him every day. I send him clients from my gym for blood work. And he actually read up and he understands what bodybuilders are using, and he tries to help them a lot. But there's only a handful of people that are willing to listen. Because when you look good and you're young and you think nothing's going to stop you, you think you're unbreakable. You know, I'll tell him, bro, I said, your blood pressure is high. I've got a blood pressure machine at the gym. I measure their blood pressures every now and then. I said, bro, 200 over 120 is very high. Yeah, but I feel great, man. I don't have any headaches. You feel great, but what's going to happen with high blood pressure? Eventually, your heart's going to go, that's going to go. You know, you've got to get it under control. And they're just oblivious. They don't care. They're only like in one direction. And these are people that are not even competing. These are people that just want to look good when they go out or go on holiday.
Too many people think that if somebody looks better than you, they're just taking more drugs. And the reality is...
When you came to my gym, when Jay came, sorry to interrupt, when he came to my gym in 2018, he spoke to a few guys. Remember that Ali guy? He was doing 2,500 milligrams of Trembolone a week. And he was saying, Jay, I'm using so much. And Jay says, but dude, how comes you're only 80 kilos in weight then if you're using so much? Because I won 4 Olympiads and I never even got close to that shit. You know, they look at people like you and Ronnie and everyone, they think that you guys abused it to the max, and, you know, that's the only way to get that big. And I tell him, I said, bro, I know Dorian and I know Jay on a personal level. They hardly used anything compared to what you guys are doing. Oh, yeah, but, you know, the gear is not as strong now. It's underground, so you've got to take more to make sure you're getting... Man, it doesn't work like that. No. You know, you're eating like 2 meals a day and you're taking 2,000 milligrams of test a week. That's not going to help you grow.
One thing I think here in the States, because our food is so destroyed, I think that might have something to do with it. Yeah. Because think about it, in the 80s, 90s, all the food was more natural, organic. Now all the GMOs, and I wonder if that has something to do with the absorption of the nutrition, if the nutritional value is no longer there.
Your body doesn't utilize it as well as back in the day. I mean, that's the same with the UK now, man. You go and you buy a chicken breast and you put it under the grill, and by the time it's cooked, it's half the size, and you're thinking, wow, what do they pump into this shit, you know?
My wife's mom came over here and we went and bought chicken breasts. The chicken breasts are like this big. And she's like, what the fuck? You know, they're in South Africa, they're this big because they're just free range. That's how big they get. Here, they're like 5 times the size.
But they're proper chicken breasts.
Yeah. But it's,
yeah, their food's gone downhill for sure. And another thing is now people rely a lot more on supplements. Yeah. You know, I hear them say, oh, instead of 4 meals a day, I'm going to have 3 shakes and 1 meal breakfast. It doesn't work like that. Yeah, we all use supplements, but it's called a supplement to supplement your eating, not to replace your food with supplements.
Everyone just wants a faster way, an easier way.
Listen, don't get me wrong. I sell products and I use them and I love them, but there's a time and a place, you know. You know, after my workout, I'm going to have my shake with my gluten, with my creatine, whatever. But after that, I need to have my solid meal. I need to have my food. I can't rely on another shake after that, then another shake before bedtime. Yeah. You know.
How are things going to change once you go home now? You finish another prep?
To be honest, Jay,
you did an hour of cardio this morning.
I did an hour and a half today. I did an hour yesterday, only because we done the Cheesecake Factory twice and we done In-N-Out Burger. And so I got it out my system. I was talking to my wife and I said to her, I actually miss eating healthy again. I miss my chicken and rice. I'm a creature of habit. I can eat that all day long. It doesn't bother me. The only thing I would do different, I might use a little bit of barbecue sauce or something on it to give it a bit more flavor. Put a bit of salt on my food now. But yeah, my food is exactly the same every day, you know, from my cream of rice in the morning after cardio to my last meal at night. And obviously weekends we go out for a meal or we might get a takeaway or something. But yeah, I love eating clean. I love staying.
We've been talking about this every day since he's been on this whole journey. I'm like, he's like, dude, I just like being at home and I eat my meals.
I don't want to. I used to go out to eat 5 times a day most of my life.
Really?
I just don't. Yeah, because I enjoy it.
You couldn't cook, or you just didn't?
No, I can. That was I work from home my whole life.
Okay.
So that's kind of my
Your enjoyment,
house.
yeah.
But now, like, whenever I eat something, I'm realizing I have certain allergies to like dairy and other things.
That's
Now
the
He's doing an allergy test
I'm
right
doing
now.
I'm getting it done this week.
I done that a few months ago in the UK because I found certain things made me really bloated. Like I was eating oatmeal in the morning for years and years. The gluten, it was making me bloated. I switched to cream of rice. That's gone. Milk, I never had a problem with milk. I'm
Same thing. Never did.
90% lactose intolerant now. So there's a lot of things that change as you get older, which you don't realize.
I love dairy. If I put this much cheese on something now, that much, my stomach pushes out like I had a buffet.
That's exactly how I felt, Dave.
It just, in the last 2 years, this has happened.
I would do my cardio fasted for an hour, then I would have a bowl of oats, 80 to 100 grams, nothing huge. And for 2-3 hours, my stomach would be out there. I'm thinking, why? I didn't eat that much. Yeah. Then I realized it was the gluten, it was this, it was that. So I went and done this allergy testing using hair strands. You send off 5 hair follicles, and they came up with a whole list. I mean, things like mushrooms. I'm allergic to mushrooms. I didn't know that. I used to eat mushrooms with my steak every time. Yeah. You know, there's so many things that came up, and it actually opens your eyes. And the minute you stop them, then you see a difference.
We had Regan got his done, and he's sitting there. His results came right at his house, and he just makes his meal. Salmon, white rice, mustard. He's dieting.
Yeah.
He opens it up and he starts reading it. The 3 things you're most allergic to: white rice, salmon, and mustard. And he's like, because I'd be like, dude, hold your stomach. And he's like, I can't. But he had all these out. And as soon as they did like this 3-month process, now he's back to normal.
No, once you stop using what's affecting you, your body does get back to normal.
Yeah, he's back to normal. He had to stop.
I stopped the milk for 8 to 10 months. And I thought, because I like my yogurt every now and then, my low-fat yogurt. I tried it, and I thought, it's all right. I don't get bloated anymore. Yeah. So I'm introducing things back slowly now. But the cream of rice is taking over the oatmeal now.
See, here, fortunately, I can go get cheese that doesn't have dairy. I get my sour cream if I make a burrito at home. The milk, all that. It's just non-dairy. So I can still taste it.
Yeah, you can buy tablets. My doctor said to me, we can get, but I don't want to take medication to allow me to eat something that I know is bad for me. It sort of defeats the object.
So now I became that weirdo that I look for the vegan menu, but I still eat beef. So it's like, hey, I can have my steak and potato, but I can't have any dairy on it. You got vegan this to mix it.
Have you done the allergy testing?
No, it's got shipped out today.
It's interesting because they should tell you the percentage of, like for me, the highest was the milk. It was 95%.
They're doing that and the whole digestive, everything. To find out what's wrong.
I think it's crucial to do that as you get older to see what affects you.
Because I've noticed even sometimes if I'll eat something that I think's normal, sometimes I'm fine, and every once in a while I'll be like, man, my stomach, I can feel the pain. So I know something in there is now affecting me where it never did my whole life.
So the way to overcome that is to make your own food, like you said.
Yeah, that's why we just we go out to eat. It's like if they have a steak and potato, I'll go there. Now, I used to always get a Caesar salad. Can't get that anymore. Yeah. Or I'd get bread. You get the bread and butter. No more butter. No more. But that's okay. You just
Dave, that sounds terrible, doesn't it?
Sounds terrible. I know bread and butter is like bread and butter is amazing.
Dave and I have this conversation all the time because his appetite's shit. So he's like, I have to eat out at like El Pollo Loco's or whatever.
They're great,
And it's like, he hates cooking chicken. We always talked about this. He's like, I can't eat chicken at home. Like, but I'll eat it out anywhere we like Firehouse or whatever else.
So weird.
Is it the way
No, I'm the same way.
I don't know what it is. It's like whatever
It's exactly the same, but he just can't eat it.
Do you know what? I did this prep, which I was watching Raising the Bar, the old DVD with Dave Bourlet, and I saw him boil his chicken breast, and he was shredding it. So I thought, that looks interesting. Let me try that. It's bloody disgusting, but when you shred it, it becomes like strands. And it's easier to take
do it for the
down.
dogs.
Yeah. So I was doing that my whole prep. I would tell my wife, just put 6 chicken breasts in the pot to boil. When I come home tonight, I'm going to shred them for tomorrow's. And I did that because before I used to either put them in the air fryer or whatever. But if you don't eat them straight away, they're hard to chew.
Yes.
When it's shredded, it goes down so easily. My dog loves it as well. Reggie loves it, shredded chicken.
See, I could do that, and then I have like a wok. And then I'd put a
you can put it in
macadamia nut oil and just kind of sear it on each side.
Yeah, I used to do that as well. I used to throw in my rice in there, a few veg.
You hear this? So here you go.
I make Chinese food at home a lot.
Yeah.
I'll do the same thing. Vegetables, the beef, the rice, and I'll put the macadamia oil and I'll mix it up.
Give it a little mix.
Soy sauce.
Soy sauce, that's it. No, I did that a lot actually. That's how I did. So my whole prep this year was actually boiled chicken.
You just shredded it down?
Yeah, just shredded
I
out.
see you eat boiled chicken.
No, that's and she makes it in the crock pot. She just made it for the dogs. We
Yeah, but she probably puts like
Yeah, but the crock pot's a little different because it's all the flavor,
Yes,
all the
right.
good stuff.
Yeah.
No, she doesn't put anything in because it's for the dogs, you know. No, she cooks
They
it
can't
plain.
eat it when it's...
Well, she puts peas and carrots and
right,
stuff
so
in
it
it,
makes
you
it a
know.
bit more... Yeah, that's why I tried different things, and I thought, oh, this was a lifesaver this year.
So you're gonna go right home and get back on the diet and
Yeah, honestly...
because you start texting me every week after, and you're
Yeah.
like, I'm still shredded, you know.
Yeah,
You know
yeah.
what? Because he's got the JayCutler Classic in May coming up.
So that's
Gotta
May
go
every
get
year.
that
No, it's I feel more clean when I eat good food. Inside, I don't feel like the last couple of days. You know, I've been eating whatever I wanted, and I don't feel comfortable.
Will you
within
eat
myself.
tonight? Like anything garbage?
Yeah, we're gonna
or-
go out to eat. Do you know what? I've been even when we went to the Cheesecake Factory the day after the show, had steak, eggs, and fries, and that was it. I didn't have a dessert or nothing. But the only thing I did have was a bread basket at the beginning. I ordered two of those.
The brown bread.
Yeah. So that's
Unless they have vegan butter.
because I haven't had
screwed.
bread for like 14 weeks now, and that's one I miss the simple things in life.
You know what's funny? How little I eat now. My wife's dieting for a show. She eats more food than I do. She's 130 pounds.
Wow.
I just can't.
Will they have a party for you when you come back?
When I go back, yeah, I think they because obviously the Easter was this weekend, but the
And your
Greek
birthday,
Easter,
yeah.
the Orthodox Easter is
Next weekend.
It's next
Yeah.
weekend on the 12th of April. So we usually do a huge barbecue on that day. I mean, my wife sent me a picture yesterday. She put it on her Instagram. She made a pistachio cheesecake. I said, what's that for? She goes, I thought I'd experiment for you when you come home, but I'll make a fresh one when you come home. It looked lovely. I said, all right, save a piece for me in the fridge. But yeah, I mean, obviously when you don't eat these things every day, you do miss them. But I'm the type of person I could have it once. I miss pizza this year. I haven't had pizza for years. Yesterday we went to the shopping mall. I told you, the outlet stores. I grabbed a couple of slices of pizzas. I had it. I felt like shit afterwards. Honestly, my stomach was bloated. I thought, why did I eat this crap now, man? But now I've had it. I don't even want to look at it anymore. That's it. It's gone out the window now. It's funny how your mind works.
Yeah, I just had pizza yesterday. A Mega Fit pizza. Like more of a healthy pizza.
Yeah.
You have pizza ever?
sometimes.
When's the last time you had pizza? Right, that
In
would
Italy.
like kill your stomach, right? Oh,
In
yeah.
Italy, it's
Italy,
fine.
you got to have it there.
No, in Italy, I can eat
It's
pizza
lovely,
5 times a day. And
It's
I
a
could,
thin
I could,
crust over there,
I could
isn't it?
pile cheese on it, and I have no problems with my stomach. Just here.
Why is that?
Because their food
Is it non-dairy,
It's
that
like
cheese?
that. Yeah. No, I know people that have serious like celiac disease, and they can't even come near gluten here. They can go there and eat pasta and pizza, no problem.
I'm worth going to Italy then.
Who do you want to thank?
Who do
That's
I
the
want to
camera
thank?
right there. Is that the camera?
Yep.
Well, obviously, you guys for having me here today. It's been, well,
Long overdue.
long overdue. We tried before, but this time,
Was that
fingers
3
crossed,
years
we got
ago
it
or
right,
2
Matt.
Yeah, I think we're
It was
good.
3 years ago or 2 years?
It was 2 years ago.
Yeah, 2 years
2
ago.
years ago, yeah. Obviously, thank you guys, all of you, Dave, Matt, UJ, for, having me here today. I mean, when I watch this podcast, there's always a legend sitting in this seat, and to be part of it now, it feels unreal. Very humbled to be here. It was nice to talk about the old days, and I just want to thank my family back home for putting up with my my prep moods and everything over the last 26 years.
He's not done. Continue.
I'll be back. All my friends at the gym, they showed great support. I was getting a lot of messages from them. And, when you're going through a prep and you got people around you that encourage you and you inspire them and they give you that same feeling back, it makes you want to carry on and do it, and it makes it a lot easier. Because, everyone says bodybuilding is a one-man sport. It's not. You've got to have a good team around you. I always said you need the support. You need positive people around you, and all my my team at Pumping Iron, all my members have been great. Thank you to all of them. My two boys, they always sort of inspired me, and they looked up to me, and now they're getting older, they're getting more into the...
How old is Nick now?
Nick's going to be 13 September, bro.
That's what I thought. I was going to say 30.
But yeah, he's training every day now. He's doing this, he signed up for this High Rocks thing in May.
Oh, yeah, it's very popular.
So he's started doing his running, and I thought, why do you want to do this, Nick? You're going to lose a lot of muscle, you know that when you do it. So, and obviously Johnny, he goes, let him do it, Dad. I'm going to be the bodybuilder. Don't worry, I'm going to carry on your footsteps. But yeah, it's great to have the boys there. They're giving me the support, the love. You know, wife, my parents are still, ringing me every day. How you feeling? My mum, oh no, you're going to do another show. You're going to go hungry again. I said, Mum, I'm not hungry. I'm eating 6 meals a day. Just because I'm not eating lasagna and pasta and this and that, it doesn't mean I'm, she feels like whenever I diet, oh, your face is shrunk. And I said, yeah, but that's Mum's for you. I think she was worried because the very first show I've done in Cyprus, I had to compete under 90, and I went there, I was 91, 2 days before the show. So they stuck me in a sauna for 3 hours, and I went for a jog in the midday sun for like half an hour, and then I went and weighed in at 89.9 on the day of the prejudging. I got up on stage now, my first time ever on stage in Cyprus, in front of my whole family, my mum and dad, everyone there. And as soon as I hit the first few poses, my abs just cramped up. I was so dehydrated. I mean, I've got some pictures. I had veins everywhere. My midsection cramped up, and I literally fell over on the stage. And one of the judges in front of me goes, oh my God, it's going to die. I said, no, it's cramp. It's a cramp. And there was a female bodybuilder there. She ran up on stage. She was from the UK. She goes, just give him some sodium, some salt and water. She took me backstage, gave me the water. I drank it. I came back, and I won the show afterwards. My mum goes, you've got to stop doing this. It's not healthy. I saw you collapse. You didn't look well. I said, Mum, I screwed up. I did things wrong. And another thing, I didn't know much back then, and someone told me you got to drink deionized water for 3 days. Obviously, deionized water has got no electrolytes in there. So I was drinking that, dehydrated for a whole day before the show, in the middle of bloody August, the sun, the hottest month of the year. That wasn't a good experience, but... yeah, they've been following my career over the years and supporting me. Even when I told them I wanted to leave my job as a scientist to open a gym, they were, my dad said to me, I remember he said to me, if anyone's going to make this work, it's you, because I know how much you love the sport. And so they were behind me all from day one. So yeah, like I say, in my eyes, I've gone quite far in the sport. I mean, look at me, I'm here now with you guys. I'm good friends with Dorian, with Flex. I met the best in the industry from nowhere. When I first started, I remember I was so skinny when I first started bodybuilding. I used to train with my cousin that was 5 years older than me, was a lot bigger than me, and they used to call me Mr. Puniverse. And 15 years later, I rang him and I said, Mario, what are you doing this weekend? He goes, nothing. Why? I said, I'm competing in the Mr. Universe in the NABA. He goes, no way, man. He goes, remember your name, Mr. Puniverse? I said, yeah. I said, well, now I'm doing the Mr. Universe thanks to you, I said to him. But yeah, I mean, I had my struggles back in the day, and, I got there in the end. I fulfilled all my goals, my ambitions, my dreams, competed abroad, and I wouldn't change anything, Jay. This sport has given me so much in terms of, it made me, I think, a better person. And I think my boys have seen the difference when you put everything into what you love doing, what you can achieve. Yeah. You know yourself, man. Come on. No point me preaching you, but, it's anything you do. If you've got passion for what you're doing, you're going to do well. Isn't that right, Dave?
That's great. Yeah, that's true.
Anything else we need to add, or
no?
Are you happy? We finally got it done.
Yeah, I'm glad we got it done.
Hope it's right. So. Yeah.
Thank you, guys.
Well, we appreciate it, man.
It's been a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Congratulations on the show.
And whenever you're in the UK, Matt, Dave, and you, Jay, obviously, you've got to come visit.
Check out the shrine.
You've got to come visit the JayCutler shrine.
We're out.